Kris Jenner just threw what might be the most expensive birthday party in Hollywood history, and now she's saying Christmas is gonna be low-key this year. Like, wait, what? The woman who literally spent somewhere between $4 and $6.5 million on a single night is now telling us that the legendary Kardashian Christmas Eve party that's been happening for 47 years is gonna be small and intimate. And people are having thoughts. Big thoughts. Because this isn't just about a party getting cancelled. This is about optics and timing and the fact that Kris just showed the entire world exactly how out of touch she is with reality. But let me start from the beginning because this whole story is absolutely wild. On November 8, Kris Jenner celebrated her 70th birthday at Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's $165 million Beverly Hills mansion. Not at her house. Not at a hotel. At Jeff Bezos's house. Let that sink in for a second. The founder of Amazon, who's worth over $260 billion, opened up his massive estate so Kris could throw the party of all parties. And when I say party of all parties, I mean it. This wasn't just cake and champagne. This was a full-blown James Bond-themed extravaganza with a guest list that reads like the Forbes billionaire list mixed with the Hollywood A list mixed with actual royalty. We're talking Beyoncé and Jay-Z, Oprah Winfrey, Adele, Mariah Carey, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Tyler Perry, Martha Stewart, Snoop Dogg, Paris Hilton, Justin Bieber, Sia, Sarah Paulson, Naomi Watts. The entire Kardashian-Jenner clan, obviously. Like 300 of the richest and most famous people on the planet all gathered in one place to celebrate Kris turning 70. The amount of combined wealth in that mansion that night was probably more than some country's entire GDP. It's actually insane when you think about it. But here's where it gets even crazier. The party wasn't just fancy, it was legendary. Kris went full Bond girl. She wore this stunning strapless crimson red gown with ruffles and a flowing train. Sheer black gloves. Diamond drop earrings. She literally posed with a pistol like she was in a spy movie. The theme was 0070 because she turned 70. Every detail was thought out. The decor was apparently jaw-dropping. Crystal chandeliers everywhere. Themed cocktails. A full caviar bar. Multiple food stations with Michelin star-level hors d'oeuvres. Poker tables. Roulette tables. The whole place was transformed into something out of a Bond film. And then there was the entertainment. Bruno Mars performed. Yes, you read that right. Bruno freaking Mars gave a private concert for Kris Jenner's birthday. Now, if you don't know how much it costs to book Bruno Mars for a private event, let me tell you. His starting rate is around $3 million. $3 million. Just for him to show up and sing. And that's the starting price. Depending on how long he performed and travel logistics, it could have been even more. For context, Beyoncé has made $24 million for a single private performance. Rihanna got $6 million for one night. So yeah, Bruno Mars doesn't come cheap. But wait, there's more. Sources say there was also DJ sets that had everyone dancing all night. The music was apparently incredible. People were laughing, having the time of their lives. Tina Knowles, who's Beyoncé's mom, said it was one of the best parties she's ever been to. The decor was beautiful, the music was jamming, the food was delicious, and people were just dancing and having fun. It sounded like an absolute dream. The kind of party most people will never experience in their entire lives. Now, luxury party planner Jennifer Wadsworth broke down what this party probably cost. And buckle up because the numbers are absolutely bonkers. She estimated that the entire event likely cost between $3.9 million and $6.5 million. Let me say that again. $6.5 million. For one night. For one birthday party. That's more than most people will earn in their entire lifetime. That's more than the cost of multiple houses. That's the kind of money that could change thousands of lives. But instead it went to one party. Let's break down where that money went. Entertainment alone with Bruno Mars probably ate up at least $3 million. Then you have event planning. Kris has worked with celebrity event planner Mindy Weiss in the past and her consulting fee alone can be $50,000. Then there's staffing, lighting, sound, production, design, security. All of that easily adds another 100,000 or more. Catering for 300 guests with Michelin star quality food and endless caviar? That's probably another 100,000 at minimum. Decor with all those chandeliers and Bond-themed elements? Another chunk of change. Venue logistics because they had to basically transform Bezos's mansion? More money. It all adds up fast. And here's a crazy detail. According to sources, Kris didn't even pay for any of it. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez allegedly funded the entire thing as a gift to Kris. They basically told her it's your milestone, our treat. Which on one hand is incredibly generous. On the other hand, it really shows the level of wealth and excess we're talking about here. When your friends are so rich they can casually drop $6 million on your birthday party without blinking, that's a different universe than what 99.9% of people live in. The party itself was so loud that police were called multiple times for noise complaints. Yes, even at a $165 million mansion in Beverly Hills the neighbors were like, can you keep it down? But the party kept going. Kris's boyfriend Corey Gamble made sure things didn't get too out of hand, but everyone was having such a good time that nobody cared about the noise complaints. Even Snoop Dogg was apparently on his best behavior. The whole night was just pure extravagance and celebration and zero budget vibes. But then the internet got a hold of the photos and videos. Kris posted a carousel of images on Instagram calling it one of the very best nights of her entire life. She thanked her family and friends and said she was beyond blessed and grateful. Which okay, fair. It's her birthday, she's allowed to celebrate. But the timing of this party and the way it was flaunted on social media hit different for a lot of people. Because while Kris was popping champagne and eating caviar with billionaires, millions of Americans were struggling. The country is dealing with economic crisis. People can't afford groceries. There are families who can't even buy birthday presents for their kids. And then here's Kris Jenner posting about her multi-million-dollar party like it's just another Tuesday. The backlash was immediate. Social media lit up with criticism. People were calling Kris tone deaf, out of touch, completely disconnected from reality. One Instagram comment said millions and billions while the little people have 1/3 of their food stamps for Thanksgiving. Another person said if she had donated the cost of this party to feed starving children, imagine the impact. And honestly, they have a point. $6 million could feed thousands of families. It could build schools. It could change communities. But instead it went to one night of partying for people who already have everything. Now, before everyone jumps down my throat, let me say this. Kris Jenner earned her money. She built an empire. She turned her family into a global brand worth billions. She's a shrewd businesswoman and she has every right to spend her money however she wants. That's not the issue. The issue is the optics. The issue is posting about it and flexing about it when so many people are suffering. You can throw yourself a lavish party. But maybe don't plaster it all over social media when the wealth gap in America is at an all-time high and people are literally choosing between paying rent and buying food. And this isn't even the first time the Kardashians have been criticized for this. Remember when Kendall Jenner posted about her birthday party during a government shutdown? Yeah, people were not happy then either. The Kardashians have this pattern of celebrating their wealth very publicly and then acting surprised when people call them out for being insensitive. It's like they exist in this bubble where they genuinely don't understand that their lifestyle is so far removed from normal that it's almost offensive to regular people. But here's where the story takes an interesting turn. A few days after the party, Kris did an interview with E! News. And she revealed something that honestly shocked people. She said that this year's Kardashian Christmas Eve party is going to be smaller than usual. She literally said, "We always have a Christmas party. This year might be a little smaller than previous years because we just had a big party the other night for my 70th birthday, which was a blowout bash." So basically she's scaling back Christmas because she already spent all that money on her birthday. Now let's talk about the Kardashian Christmas Eve party, because this is a massive tradition. Kris started hosting this party in 1978. That's 47 years of annual Christmas Eve celebrations. It's become legendary in Hollywood. Everyone wants an invite. The parties are always over the top with elaborate themes, incredible decorations, a list, entertainment, and guest lists that rival award shows. Kris has poured her heart and soul into this tradition for decades. And her kids have watched and learned and eventually started taking over hosting duties themselves. The Christmas parties have always been expensive. Like really expensive. Back in 2018, when Kim and Kanye hosted at their house, the party cost $1.3 million. It had a winter wonderland theme with real snow in Southern California. A ski slope. Igloos. A light tunnel. Christmas trees everywhere. And John Legend performed. In 2019, when Kourtney hosted, her party cost $436,000. She turned her backyard into this cozy whimsical forest with red Christmas trees and upside-down trees, and Sia performed. In 2023, Kim hosted again and turned her house into a winter wonderland with sledding, and a life-sized gingerbread house, and Babyface performed. These parties are a big deal. They're not just family gatherings. They're full production events that cost anywhere from $500,000 to over $1 million, depending on who's hosting and what the theme is. And now Kris is saying it's gonna be low-key this year. People are like, wait, what happened? Did the Kardashians suddenly run out of money? Obviously not. Kim alone is worth $1.7 billion. Kylie is worth $1 billion. The family is worth billions plural. They're not broke. So what's really going on? Some people think Kris is actually being smart here. She just threw this massive birthday party. She got all the celebration and attention and photos and press. Why duplicate that energy just 6 weeks later at Christmas? Maybe she's thinking, we already did the big blowout. Let's make Christmas about family and intimacy instead of spectacle. And honestly, that makes sense. After hosting 300 people and spending millions, maybe you do want to just have a quiet dinner with your kids and grandkids. Maybe you want to actually enjoy the holiday instead of stressing about impressing people. But other people think this is damage control. That Kris saw the backlash from her birthday party. Saw people calling her out for being tone deaf and out of touch. And realized that throwing another massive party 2 months later would be a terrible look. So she's scaling back Christmas, not because she wants to, but because she has to for PR reasons. To show that she's not completely disconnected from reality. To prove that she can do things small and intimate and family-focused. It's a strategic move to repair her image after the birthday party controversy. And then there are people who think Kris is genuinely shifting her priorities. She turned 70. That's a milestone. In her interview with E! News, she talked about how her life is really focused on family and friends now. How her relationships mean so much to her. She referenced her mom, Mary Jo Campbell, who's 91 and worked until she was 82. Kris said that's what kept her mom young and excited about life. And Kris hopes to be exactly the same. She said, right now it's about my family, my grandchildren, my kids, and my health. Maybe turning 70 really did make her realize what matters most. Maybe she's entering a new chapter where she doesn't need the big flashy parties anymore. Maybe she just wants quality time with the people she loves. Whatever the reason, the announcement that Christmas is being scaled back is a big deal. This is only the second time in 47 years that the full Kardashian Christmas Eve party won't happen. The first time was in 2020 during COVID when they canceled it for safety reasons. That was understandable. A pandemic is a pandemic. But this is a choice. Kris is choosing to do something smaller. And people are reading into that choice in all kinds of ways. Some fans are disappointed. They love seeing the Christmas party content every year. The decorations. The outfits. The behind-the-scenes glimpses. It's become part of their own holiday tradition to watch the Kardashians celebrate. So the idea of it being scaled back or possibly not documented on social media feels like a loss. Like the end of an era. Other fans are relieved. They're like, finally the Kardashians are being more low-key and not shoving their wealth in everyone's faces. Finally they're acting like normal people who just want to spend the holidays with family. But here's my take. I don't think this is really about Kris suddenly becoming more humble or down to earth. I think this is a calculated PR move. The backlash from the birthday party was real. People were genuinely upset. The criticism was loud. And Kris is smart enough to know that if she turned around and threw another $1 million party 6 weeks later, it would be a disaster. The headlines would be brutal. The internet would eat her alive. So she's getting ahead of it. She's controlling the narrative by announcing that Christmas will be smaller. That way she looks thoughtful and family-oriented instead of excessive and tone-deaf. And honestly, it's kind of genius. By framing it as we already celebrated big with the birthday, now we want intimate family time at Christmas, she gets to have her cake and eat it too. She got her massive blowout party. She got all the attention and press and photos with celebrities. And now she gets to look like a good mom and grandma who values family over flash. It's the best of both worlds. She doesn't look bad for scaling back. She looks mature and wise and like she's got her priorities straight. But let's not forget that Kris is the ultimate momager. Everything she does is strategic. Every public statement. Every Instagram post. Every interview. It's all carefully crafted to maintain the Kardashian brand. And right now the brand needs to be less about excess and more about relatability. The world is in a tough place economically. People are struggling. So the Kardashians need to adjust their image to match the mood. They can't be flaunting their wealth as much as they used to. They need to show that they're just like everyone else. That they value family and health and relationships over material things. Even if that's not entirely true, it's what they need to project. So yeah, I think Christmas is being scaled back because Kris knows it's the smart move. Not because she suddenly cares less about throwing parties. But because she cares more about protecting the family brand. And honestly, I can't even be mad at that. It's smart business. It's good PR. And it might actually result in a more meaningful holiday for the family. Who knows, maybe they'll actually enjoy having a quiet Christmas at home without 300 guests and a film crew and constant pressure to look perfect. But I also can't help but think about the bigger picture here. Kris Jenner spent up to $6.5 million on one birthday party. That's an amount of money that's almost incomprehensible to normal people. And now she's like, yeah, we're gonna do a small Christmas this year. As if small for the Kardashians means the same thing as small for regular families. Let's be real. Their small Christmas probably still has a personal chef. Custom decorations. Designer gifts. It's just not 300 people and a live concert. It's probably still 50 people and catered food and thousands of dollars in presents. Small is relative when you're a billionaire. And that's the thing that bugs people. The Kardashians live in such a different reality that they genuinely don't understand how their actions look to everyone else. They think, oh, we're being low-key this year. Meanwhile, low-key for them is still more extravagant than most people's dream wedding. There's this massive disconnect. And the birthday party just highlighted that disconnect in the most obvious way possible. It was like a spotlight on wealth inequality. Here's a room full of billionaires drinking champagne and eating caviar while regular people are worried about paying their electric bill. The contrast is stark and uncomfortable. But you know what's interesting? Despite all the criticism, despite all the backlash, the Kardashians aren't going anywhere. Their brands are still thriving. Their businesses are still making billions. Their social media followings are still massive. People love to hate them, but people also love to watch them. And that's the secret to their success. They've figured out how to stay relevant no matter what. Whether people are praising them or criticizing them, it doesn't matter because they're still talking about them. And as long as people are talking, the Kardashians win. So will this scaled-back Christmas actually happen? Honestly, I'm not sure. Kris said it would be smaller, but we won't know what that really means until Christmas Eve comes and we see what they post. Maybe it really will be just immediate family. Or maybe smaller means 200 people instead of 300. Maybe it means no live entertainment but still elaborate decorations. We'll have to wait and see. But one thing's for sure. Whatever they do will be documented. Will be photographed. Will be posted to Instagram. Because that's what the Kardashians do. They live their lives publicly. For better or worse. And let's talk about the other drama that came out of the birthday party, because there's more. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were there. They were photographed. Kim posted pictures with Meghan. And then mysteriously all the photos with Harry and Meghan were deleted. Vanished. Gone from all the Kardashian Instagram accounts. Why? Because apparently Harry and Meghan didn't consent to having those photos posted publicly. Their representatives reached out and asked for the photos to be taken down. And the Kardashians complied. This caused a whole separate controversy. People were like, why did Harry and Meghan go to the party if they didn't want to be photographed? What's the point of going to a Kardashian event if you don't want to be seen? Others defended them, saying they should have the right to control their own image. Especially since they've been very vocal about privacy. It became this whole thing about celebrity privacy and consent and whether it's reasonable to expect not to be photographed at a party where literally everyone is taking pictures. But I think the real story is that Harry and Meghan are trying to rebuild their Hollywood connections. They're trying to network with powerful people. And the Kardashians are powerful. They're connected. They know everyone. So going to Kris's birthday party was a smart move for Harry and Meghan. It got them in the room with Oprah and Tyler Perry and all these influential people. But they didn't want it to look like they were just there for publicity. So they had the photos taken down. It's all very calculated. Everyone at that party had an agenda. Everyone was there for a reason beyond just celebrating Kris. And that's what these kinds of parties are really about. They're not just celebrations. They're networking opportunities. They're power plays. They're ways to see and be seen by the right people. The conversations that happen at a party like that can lead to business deals. To collaborations. To opportunities worth millions. So yeah, the party itself cost $6 million. But the value of the connections made that night? Probably exponentially more. Kris Jenner knows this. She's been playing this game for decades. She knows that throwing a legendary party isn't just about having fun. It's about cementing your status. About showing everyone that you're still relevant. Still powerful. Still someone who matters. And based on the guest list and the media coverage and the conversations happening online, I'd say she succeeded. Mission accomplished. Everyone's talking about Kris. Again. So here's where we're at. Kris threw the most expensive birthday party in recent Hollywood history. Got dragged online for being out of touch. And is now scaling back Christmas as damage control / genuine desire for family time / strategic PR move. The Kardashian Christmas Eve tradition that's been going strong for 47 years is being put on pause or at least significantly reduced. And everyone has opinions about what this means. Does it mean the Kardashians are becoming more relatable? Does it mean they're learning from their mistakes? Does it mean they're genuinely shifting their priorities? Or does it mean they're just better at PR than ever and know exactly how to control their narrative? Honestly, it's probably all of the above. The Kardashians are complex. They're not just one-dimensional wealthy people. They're savvy business people who understand their brand and how to maintain it. And sometimes that means going big with a birthday party. And sometimes it means going small with Christmas. What I do know is that this story isn't over. Christmas Eve is still over a month away. A lot can happen between now and then. Maybe Kris will change her mind and throw a big party anyway. Maybe the family will stick to the plan and have an intimate gathering. Maybe they'll do something in between. Whatever happens, we'll all be watching. Because that's what we do with the Kardashians. We watch. We judge. We comment. We critique. But we never look away. And maybe that's the real genius of what they've built. They've created a family brand that's so fascinating and so polarizing that we can't help but pay attention. Whether we love them or hate them, we're invested. We want to know what they're doing. What they're wearing. Who they're dating. How they're celebrating. They've made themselves essential to pop culture. And stories like this birthday party and the scaled-back Christmas are just more chapters in the never-ending saga of the Kardashian-Jenner empire. The bottom line is this. Kris Jenner is 70 years old. She's built an incredible empire. She's raised 6 kids who are all successful in their own right. She's a grandmother multiple times over. She's worth $200 million. And she can do whatever she wants with her money and her time. If she wants to throw a $6 million party, she can. If she wants to scale back Christmas, she can. It's her life. But when you live that life publicly on social media and reality TV, you open yourself up to criticism. And people are going to have opinions. Strong opinions. So yeah, I think it's fair to question the optics of spending millions on a party while people are struggling. I think it's fair to call out the tone deafness. But I also think it's fair to acknowledge that the Kardashians don't owe us anything. They're not politicians. They're not public servants. They're entertainers and business people who happen to be very wealthy. And maybe instead of constantly criticizing them for being rich, we should be asking bigger questions about why wealth inequality exists. About why billionaires exist while people can't afford basic necessities. About the systems that allow this kind of wealth gap to happen. Because at the end of the day, Kris Jenner's birthday party isn't the problem. It's a symptom. It's a very visible, very flashy symptom of a much bigger issue. And while it's easy to focus on the Kardashians and their excess, maybe we should be focusing on the bigger picture. On the policies and systems that create and maintain this kind of inequality. On the ways we could restructure society so that everyone has enough. Not just the people at the top. But I digress. The point is, Kris threw an insane party. Christmas is being scaled back. The internet has thoughts. And life goes on. The Kardashians will keep being the Kardashians. And we'll keep watching and commenting and dissecting their every move. Because that's the deal. They give us content. We give them attention. And round we go. So what do you think? Is Kris scaling back Christmas because of the backlash or because she genuinely wants a more intimate holiday? Do you think the birthday party was too much?